All right, I don't do these videos over here. I reserve these types of videos and for somewhere else when it comes to like scammers and calling out scammers and liars and but like a lot of people, man, for a year, because I talk about this fictional character. I throw him in there on another channel that I talk about scammers and liars in a business that I'm in, and I throw him in there because I have to vent somewhere, and I really don't want to vent here about that. So there's this fictional character, and a lot of people want to know, is this guy on juice? And look, let me just say it right now. He is clearly on juice. Clearly. And there's nothing wrong with that if he was just on juice for himself to do whatever he does, to look good. If he wants to look good, look, we live in a time now where so many people who look normal or who look like they're in shape, like there's people that get on stuff to look like what I look like, which is pretty normal. And it's like, that's what we live in right now. So, just, you don't have to look like the Incredible Hulk to be on stuff. There's a lot of guys that are on stuff, and females too. A lot of females, young females too, in their teens and early 20s. So this is the time we live in, man. And in 20 years, man, these people they're going to be sorry that they did anything. Even guys that take a little bit of testosterone, just a little bit, they screw themselves for life. If they take a little bit of testosterone, just so that way they have some actual muscle that looks more, that you look at them, hey, that person's got, they're built, right? They're screwing themselves for life, man. They're done. They've ruined themselves, and they're gonna find out at some point. Just a little bit too. And the women really mess themselves up. But this fictional character, his name is Tomas Delaire. Tomas Delaire. He's on the fake internet. He's a strapping young man, and he's 1000% on a little bit of stuff to have that look. And that's not what the issue is, though, because there's people there's young kids that like just want to know, hey, is he on this? Just because I guess they just want to like poke at him or whatever. He's clearly, everyone, come on, he's clearly on stuff. But here's the thing that bothers me, man. I wish he could see this, because I really, as someone, I seen some of his videos. He's saying he was 275 pounds at one time. I seen the pictures of him when he's 275 pounds. Okay, I was someone who was 320 pounds. I'm way older than him. I'm gonna be 43. He's like probably 30. He does, he's been on juice for a little while. He's like a bikini model or whatever, and that's fine if you're doing it for that. But he stepped into a world where people who, first of all, let's eliminate dad bod and soccer mom, who weigh on every word that he says, but because they're going to be okay. But it's the obese, morbidly obese people who he really, I don't know how he looks in the mirror, man. Like seriously, I wish that this fictional character, Tomas Delaire, I wish that he can see this and have a heart-to-heart with himself. That's what I really want. Like, instead of just bashing him and making fun of him, I don't want that. I really don't. It would be nice to see, at the very least, like on the fake internet, coming clean would be lying and saying that you have low testosterone and you have to take TRT, right? That would be the equivalent of coming clean. Lying and saying, ever since I was a child, I have had low testosterone, and I've been on testosterone since puberty. That would be coming clean, right? At least you're saying it, right? Even though you have more muscle mass than somebody for that, someone can get for being that lean with that frame, and you know what I mean? It's like, it's because visual, man. People need the visual, and it's not really his fault. Money, man. It's all about money. So this is why I'm saying this on here, because I talk about that a lot, and I tell people this a lot privately. Like, I say this in a lot of videos, man. There's as many scammers and liars in health than there is in how to make money. There's just as many. And while I think that this fictional character, Tomas de Liar, I believe he is a good human being. I can see it in his face. I can see it, that he's a good person. But what he's doing is, number one, he's a fraud. That's number one. So he needs to, worry about, like, I know he's the face. He's not like in control of what goes on. He's an actor. People need to know this. A lot of these people on his level, they're hired. He was hired to be the face of this humongous fad that is known as fake internet keto. It's not even real keto. All right? And good thing it's not real keto. Even though people are spinning their wheels. If people eat McDonald's for breakfast, Taco Bell for lunch, ding dongs for a snack, pizza for dinner, and a pound of ice cream for a dessert, and then they drink a 12-pack of sodas. Okay, if people eat like that, anything that they do that involves any type of real food whatsoever, doesn't matter what it is, right? They could drink coconut oil, and they're gonna benefit. It's gonna be better than what they were doing. But for a lot of people, they go backwards doing that, and it might make them feel good for a little bit, and change. Sometimes change, really, for people who eat bad, change if it involves adding some nutritious foods to their life, so, more than what they have, that change is going to be better. But it's not optimal, and it's not anywhere near what I talk about, not even in the vicinity of it. So the types of people who can benefit from fake internet keto, which isn't real keto, but it's more like a low carb thing. They're going to be people who are in some really, really, really bad, really bad shape. So those people know nothing about nutrition. They're thinking that diet produces the fictional character Tomas de Liar, the body that he has. They're looking at that and going, that's what produces that. They might not even think, hey, I can get that body, because they don't think they're as good as him. See, this is psychological stuff, man. This is how they do this. They get people who are vulnerable, and they don't really try and help them, man. This is all mental stuff. That's part of it. You got to know this. I make my living on the internet. I've been in this stuff for 2 decades, and I'm telling you, man, the mental game and the manipulation tactics, it's everything. That's how you get money out of people, and I want people to know this. They're not necessarily going to go and try to be doing businesses and stuff, but they need to know this because people are going after them. If you're looking for optimal health, you're going to have all kinds of people telling you all kinds of stuff. So most of it's lies, man. And so I want to be, I want this fictional character to see this, because I don't want to make this fictional character go, oh, you know what, F you. Because if I'm like making fun of him, whatever, I could do that too. But I want to be like, I want this fictional character to look in the mirror and be like, hey, you know what, man, I am a fraud. Because he is, and a good person, I know there's a good person there, but what he's doing is fraudulent. And that's legal. Like, I mean, that's on the legal side. But like the moral side, man, I don't know how he could look in the mirror doing that. Because the people that really, 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 really need help, I mean, those are the ones that are just like, they have no clue, man. And it's not the actual, there's people that do juice. I was just in the gym. Every time I go to the gym, I see kids and adults and men in their 40s. Everybody's on freaking juice. The kids are doing juice because they just want to do juice. The guys my age are doing TRT, and everybody's doing it to look good. They're not doing it for health. They're doing it to look good. When you see guys that are in their 40s on TRT and they have more muscle mass than they've ever had in their life, okay? They're not on like TRT. Because if you're on TRT, like as if you're dying, which they are dying. If they're getting it prescribed, they're dying. If you're on TRT, you're dying. It's just the way it is. You're dying. That's why you get put on it. But if people get put on it the right way and they're not doing some extra stuff more than what than what a regular dose is, they're not going to be built. They're not going to. I mean, they'll have more muscle mass than what they did, but they're not going to look like. They're not going to stand out in a crowd and have more muscle mass than they ever had in their entire life and be 48 years old, right? But you see these older guys they're like that, and that's they totally can do whatever they want, but that's the time we live in, and everyone wants to, we all want to look good, but people want to look, they want to have that that certain look that no matter what size you are, your skin's different, your blood volume is different because it increases your blood volume. You got more veins, you got, you're holding water in different places that look good. That's what that does for you. Just even a little teeny bit of testosterone will do that for men. So, chemically enhanced, man. So many people are chemically enhanced, and I just wish, someone like who has such a, that guy's got millions of fake followers on the fake internet, and those people are being bamboozled in many ways, because that diet is, it's a fad, and there's people, man. There's people that really think that that's the way that you're supposed to eat. And they have no clue, man. They have no clue. And if you really, really pay attention to it, eating that way, micronutrient deficiencies are inevitable. They're inevitable. And people, once again, like all the other diets, they go for these diets because they want to eat less calories in some way without changing things, or without like, they want it to be easier, and they want to eat less calories. That should be the goal. Calories. If you eat perfectly, calories fall into place. You don't care about calories. You care about hormone balance. I say it every single day. I say this every day to people. There's people that I say this to every single day. Multiple people. I say this 100 times a day. Okay? I say this every day. All these things I say every day to people and to myself even, because I have to live it too. And micronutrient balance, micronutrient efficiency, I say it both of those ways. Hormone balance. That's what you need to worry about. That's what you need to be eating for. Hormone balance, micronutrient efficiency. If you eat that way, everything else falls into place. And calories aren't the focus, man. And when people want to eat less calories, that unbalances all the things I just said. That unbalances micronutrients. People become deficient and stuff because they're trying to eat less and less calories. And they don't care about the micronutrients to begin with. They don't even know. They don't know. I'm the only person on the planet with the audacity to try and get people to eat micronutrient efficiency. The only person. I'm the only one. And it's like, and I'm not, I'm just doing my little thing. Just, doing my thing, writing books and giving them away for free, paying money to give these books away for free, spending thousands of dollars so that way tens of thousands of people have downloaded the vegan diet. And it hasn't even been a year. So I'm doing my part. This is because I want to do my part. And people want to take it further. There's an opportunity for them to do that. Should I have time? And should I have time, and should they have the dime for it? Because I'm not cheap, and my time is very valuable, and my knowledge is more than what anybody's out there is. And I'm not trying to be like, I'm not trying to be like I'm like some science whiz or anything, because I'm not. I don't do rat studies, and I don't care about that stuff. I'm a normal layman. You know what I mean? That's how I view everything. What are the layman's terms of nutrition, right? Because my goal is what my goal is to reverse my age. According to my blood work, according to the way that I live, I am doing a very good job of it. This is my proof, me, and the way that what I do. I don't care about rat studies. I don't care about human studies. I don't care about any of that stuff. There was a time in my life when I was first on my journey years ago, man. There was a time in my life when I would pay attention to stuff like that, and I'd memorize things, and I'd memorize all kinds of stuff, and I've gotten so many things out of my head. I'm like, when I was like, you know what, I want to be a nutritionist. I want to go to school, and I want to start, and I was all into all that. And I'm so glad that I didn't follow through with it. Because, it's just like, it's meaningless to me. And the last few years, man, ever since when I turned 39, I'm going to be 43. And when I turned 39, everything clicked, man. Before that, I was everything. I was learning. I was doing everything. I was trial and error, everything for years before that. Ever since my early 30s, for good. Let's just say, as I started getting into my 30s, 31, 32-ish, that was when I started trying to really, really, really find the fountain of youth, as I started getting over 30. So that's a long time. I hit the nail on the head when I turned right about 39. I was like, everything just started falling into place, and the puzzle pieces I was missing, I started finding them. So it doesn't happen overnight. And this has been my obsession for a long time. And I'm going to be 43. And I feel like I'm 18 years old. A healthy, vibrant 18-year-old. Not like I'm just like some, typical 18-year-old. I'm like a healthy, vibrant 18-year-old. And my blood work shows it. My testosterone is close to 1,000. And I take nothing. And to me, taking anything, testosterone-wise, I view it as you're dying. Testosterone is the dialysis machine. It's a dialysis machine for testosterone. Taking synthetic testosterone. That's the way I look at it. Why am I going to take anything and be lying about it? Because I know some people a while back, last year, some young kids, accused me of lying and saying, yeah, you're just taking stuff and you're not telling anybody. But my blood will show up my blood work. And my blood work, I will show anybody my full panel, and I will take any blood test anybody wants to give me at any time. I would take free blood tests every month. If people want to pay for my blood tests every month, I'll take them, and they can have all the paperwork, and they can study it. They should be studying it. And they should be like, hey, wow, how does this happen? How does a guy, his testosterone raises without taking anything through diet, lifestyle, and mindset? And then that perfects my training. I train for testosterone maximization, to be agile, to be mobile, and to be virile. Those are like, that's like part of my affirmation that I go through. I tell myself this stuff every single day. Groundhog's Day, man. All right, I tell myself this stuff, and this is what I tell people when I tell people stuff every day. I'm like, hey, you got to tell yourself this stuff every day. You have to write this stuff down if you have to. I write stuff down all the time. I use my phone to talk to myself. You know, this stuff, it'll make you feel weird. I've told people this for a lot of things, but take your phone, do just like I'm doing right here. I'm by myself. I've made thousands of videos just like this, looking at my cell phone by myself, thousands of them. And I still feel weird every single time. I still feel weird. I feel weird right now. Whenever I'm always looking to see if anybody's looking at me. Always. When I'm making these videos on my phone, I've made thousands of them. Thousands. Like I've only have a little bit of videos here, but I've made thousands of videos on other channels. And and in Facebook and stuff like that. Every single time I feel weird. And it's like just feels weird. But this is talking to other people. Do them for yourself and talk to yourself and flip it to where you can see yourself and tell yourself whatever it is you need to tell yourself. Sometimes you need to set yourself straight. Sometimes you need to encourage yourself. Sometimes you just need to remember some things. You got some stuff coming to your head. I do this for everything. I'm a creator. I create. I write books. I create music. This is what I do for my living. So I am a creative. Everything with me is creative. When the creative juices are flowing, I have pads, I have pens and pads in my backpack. I got them in here. I got them in my house everywhere. I've got recorders. I got recorder in my backpack. I use my phone. This is how I live. This is my life. So I encourage people to do this for their health. I do this for the way I create, and I also do this for my health too. And I put out a journal it's a purpose journal. People could benefit from that too, but I'm gonna put out some other journals that would be more for this. People can it's like daily journals, and some that I use, and I'm gonna put some out coming up here whenever I get time. But I've had this idea for years to do that, and I just have not had time to create these journals. And I want it because it's not gonna, they're not, the money isn't, it's not money. There's no money in it. But I want people to be able to, I want to show people how to do it. And write this stuff down, man. Every day. Pretty soon, man, you'll be motivated, and it's like you're motivated to do it, to write down. And while you're doing it, and you're writing it down, or you're talking to yourself, and you're telling yourself, and you're pumping yourself up, without letting yourself get too inflated, or without letting yourself, go get too high, because what goes up comes down, that type of thing. You want it to be motivating you to continue on bettering yourself, right? It's for the betterment of yourself. Every single thing, so it's something you should want to be doing every day. It's not like you do it for a week or a month or a year. You want to do it every day, and you can't wait to do it. And you wake up and you're just like, you're alive, man. You want to live, and you don't want, you like, man, you want time to take longer because you're loving life. It starts with your diet. It doesn't end with your diet. It starts with your diet. It does not end with your diet, though. So what was this? This was a Tomas. Are you watching this, Tomas Dead Liar? I would love for that fictional character to watch this. I would love for that fiction. I would, because that that character, I know that character is a good person, man. And the he can flip it around. He can't get off the juice because he would not look the same. He can quit. He'd have to quit. He can get off the juice. He'd have to quit doing what he's doing, and it would just be the end of whatever that is. But he's stuck between a rock and a hard place, man. But I don't know. The deception, man. It's stinky, man. It's up there. It's up there on a scammer level, and it's sad. It's up there though. Anyways, is there anything else I was gonna say? I was kind of on a roll there for a little bit. And you know what? If you're watching this from an ad, okay? If you're watching this from an ad, because I run these as ads, there are a percentage of people who watch this far, man. And I'm telling you, if you watch this far, you got it. You have it. And I'm gonna start doing this at the end of my videos. Maybe like talking to the people who watch past, because there's a percentage of people. Like I look at the analytics, and there are people who watch this far. And I look at them from the channel, and I look at them from the ads. And from the ads, there are people who watch this far, man. And I'm telling you, if you watch this far, you got what it takes. You got what it takes because you're going, hey, something's resonating with you, right? People who click off in 2 seconds are because they don't like my lighting, they don't like the way I talk, I don't have a microphone, I got music in the background sometimes, whatever I'm doing from my car, from my truck. People complain about all kinds of stuff, man. They're used to that presentation. They want to be like manipulated. They want that. Most people want that. Those people, they don't have what it takes. If you can get past all that, and you can really, really soak in what I'm saying and understand. There's people that they tell me all the time, like, man, I know that you live what you say. You say what you live, and you live what you say. And that's all I know how to do. I do not know how to do what the fictional character Thomas DeLire does. I do not know how to live like that. That would tear me down. You would see a different me. Even if I was on juice and started doing that. If I got on some juice, I'm in my 40s, my body can look way different than what it looks like if I got on some juice. And man, I can pull in a lot of guys. I can go for the men over 40. I can make a lot of money off those guys. But it would rip me up. I wouldn't be able to do it. I would not be able to do it. Like, you see those guys, those guys that are like in their 50s that are doing the ab stuff, those guys are all on stuff too, man. And then aside from the photoshopping and the this and that, but just to look normal, man. We live in a time where there's to look like you're like, man, you look good. Guys get on stuff because it's easier. You know what I mean? So it's easier, and of guys of all ages. So not just young guys, older guys too. There's guys my age and older that they're going to get on something because they want to look good. And it's very popular right now. And I'm telling you, man, do not, at whatever age you are, there's some younger guys that I've talked to that they're on steroids. There's younger guys or they want to, they see all this stuff about steroids on the internet, and people openly talk about it. Don't do it. Don't do it. And anybody that's on roids and they're older, like if they're like my age and they're on steroids, like some steroids, and that they're on steroids, I guarantee you, if you're younger, guarantee you, they would tell you don't do it. And they're on it. I guarantee you they would. Not the ones on the internet trying to sell you stuff, but in regular life, man. Ask some guy in his 40s who's on juice, like some real juicer, and you're 20. ask him about them, and I guarantee you that guy is going to be telling you, nah, dude, don't be, or he would at least be like, hey, you're going to wait until you're like 30, right? If not, say, don't do it at all. Anyways, now I'm just going off on whatever, man, like I'm known to do. Oh yes, I'm talking to the people who watch this far. That's why. And there's people who will watch this far. Subscribe to this channel. Go back and watch I got some videos, man, where I say, I don't have anything scripted. I just say there's things that's on the top of my head. And there's stuff, man. Every video that I have, you can take it and you can apply it. And you can start the path to age reversal. You can start looking for the fountain of youth. That's the point. That's the point of this channel. That's the point of me writing those books, Vegan Diet. That's the point of that diet, the vegan diet. I call it the vegan diet because it's my cute little name for my diet, the vegan diet. I eat eggs, you know what I mean? That type of thing. But it's not an egg diet. It's an unprocessed food diet, which is the perfect diet. And I also talk about how, micronutrient deficiencies, no matter how you eat, and then micronutrient deficiencies that you run into if you try to eat unprocessed foods. So, because people will run into those, and it's mostly a fruit diet. That's the perfect diet. The perfect diet is a probably about 50% minimum calories coming from a variety of fruits, and then fill in the gaps with vegetables, and then add grains, rices, potatoes, tubers, beans, those types of things as needed. Those fill in the calorie, carbohydrate, energy gaps, and then hormonally, protein wise, you find the best sources, which would be eggs. I'm telling you right now, the best sources of fat is going to come from egg yolks. Everything else, you start figuring out, hey, what's next? And next, I'll tell you, next would be something like salmon. So, salmon, you can go into stuff like oysters and stuff like that, but the water's polluted. You can't eat that stuff every day. You know what I mean? But oysters, for animal oysters, there's a lot of good nutrition in oysters. The water's polluted though. You have to watch out for mercury. So stuff like fish, you can't even eat. Like salmon, you can't eat salmon every day because the waters are polluted. So, but those are your next levels. Then you can go down into the meats. You go into the meats, you're obviously going into something that's been killed in the wild first, right? That type of thing. And if you're going there, you're going with the organs. That's where you start. So I talk about that in that book a little bit. And you just go down the list. So if people want to get into like chicken and turkey and stuff like that, that's way down the list. But people can eat what they want, okay? But I'm saying optimally. That's the whole point of the diet, is to talk about what is optimal and what is the bar, man. Perfection. Where's the perfection bar? Perfection bar, animal product, eggs. Everything else, okay, now you're number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, stuff like that. But so anyways, I have to go. Speaking of eggs, I have to eat some eggs. You have yourself a wonderful evening. And if you watch this far, subscribe to this channel and go to my website. You can contact me there if you need to contact me for anything. Have yourself a great day.